Good morning, boomers. Good morning. It's time for some morning mocha. It's a bright and sunny day. As you can see, my eyeglass lenses, have already transitioned to protect my eyes from the sun. They don't do as much good as they need to. I'm supposed to wear polarized lenses, but I just don't. So, good morning. Welcome back to Midlife Priceless. I just woke up because I was up late last night doing another live for midnight oil. And as it goes, when you burn the midnight oil, man, do you stay, you give yourself the challenge of getting up in the morning. So it's quarter to 11 here in Tallahassee. Beautiful day. It is a gorgeous day. No clouds in the sky. The birds are chirping. Not a lot going on with the neighbors. Nobody's cutting grass or anything or mowing the grass because we really have not had a lot of growth. I'm sure that'll change soon. But yeah. I had a chat with a friend of mine now 2 days ago, I think, and he was laughing at me because I was talking about my dad and how my father had only three rules. Can you hear me all right? I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer. I think that's better. My dad had three rules. He wasn't a stern father. He had rules, but he wasn't so stern that he didn't have a sense of humor or he didn't laugh by anything. But my father had three rules because, well, I didn't have any brothers. We didn't have any brothers, my sister and me. Um, my sister and I'm supposed to say I always nitpick about that you and me and him and I kind of thing. Anyway, um, my sister and I used to laugh, and we still tell stories to each other because my dad, he was just so incredible. And the reason she and I tell each other the stories is not because we are going to forget or that we're reminding each other of anything. We tell each other stories about our dad because nobody would believe us if we told them. Um, so, anyway, back to my story. My dad had three rules. Don't eat his Mr. Good bar out of the freezer. Don't use his razor. And don't crack his paper. Very simple, right? Don't eat his Mr. Good bar. Don't use his razor. And don't crack his paper. What does that mean? He loved a Mr. Good bar. And he would put them in the freezer. And he didn't want to share his candy. Chocolate with peanuts. If you go in the store now, you'll see the Mr. Goodbar in the yellow wrapper. Don't eat Daddy's Mr. Goodbar. And it used to come, sometimes you could break off a little piece and think he didn't know. I would swear that man measured it or something. He knew if you nipped off a piece. But I think maybe me, my sister, and my mom were all nipping it off, in which case that was a big hunk in the end. So he would you hear him go in the refrigerator, in the freezer, and come out of the kitchen and stand in the middle of the house because we lived in a rancher, um, and announce, "Who's been eating Daddy's Mr. Goodbar? Who's been eating Daddy's Mr. Goodbar?" And he would march up and down the hall like a rooster. That thing was so funny. He was so mad. Um, During Girl Scout season, it went from Mr. Goodbar to the Thin Mints. They still make those too. My sister loves those. He didn't have to worry about me with mints. It's not my thing. Still today, I don't eat those. But that was his one rule. The second rule was don't use his razor. As girls, sometimes you just want to quickly shave your legs or an armpit just to hurry up, because you can't find your own stuff or whatever the reason. But the thing is that it dulled the blade. So when he went to shave, it would cut his face. And he's walking around face bleeding and toilet paper stuck again in the middle of the hallway. Who's been using daddy's razor? I just don't understand it. Can daddy have one thing? One thing. He really needed three things, but he would fuss about the one thing, one thing. Okay, fine. Oh, good morning. I didn't even notice all of you. I'm so sorry. I'm going on about my story. Hi, Bavin. Hi, Jesse. Marvion Perry. Jesse wants to be disgusting first thing in the morning. And the sad part about it is my father's name was Jesse. Do him the justice and the dignity of not being vulgar, okay? Don't come on here with that clowning this morning. I'm not in the mood. I usually ignore the crap, but not today. Marvion talking about soul food. Yes, and the lemon maple bars. Are they the best? Mine is the s'mores. I love the Girl Scout s'mores cookies. And where I grew up, we have a Nabisco factory. And I'm here to tell you, when you smell those cookies, oh my God, everybody kind of pumps the brakes and puts down the window a little bit. It's like riding past grandma's house because you could smell those cookies. So back to the story. Using his razor was going to get another speech in the middle of the hallway. Finally, the one thing that makes people wonder what in the hell am I talking about is don't crack daddy's paper. Ah, that means, uh, well, to explain, when we came home from school, you were not to walk past the mailbox and the paper box without getting both. But when you got the mail, it's okay to rifle through and see if there was anything for you. But the one thing you should not do is open the newspaper. Oh my God. And in those days, we had two different papers. There was the morning paper and the evening paper. And he always got the morning paper because he was always the first one up. But the evening paper, if you open that paper to read it and then fold it back and then put it on the table for him, he would get upset. That's cracking daddy's paper. Don't crack daddy's paper. Simple as that. Do not crack daddy's paper. And I once tried to carefully, gingerly, delicately open it and peep in there. And then I made sure that it was tight. You know how it comes off the factory, out of the factory or off of the printing press. Tight, tight, tight. And I folded it back. And I mean, I couldn't even tell that I had been in the paper. He got home and the first thing he said was, what? Who cracked daddy's paper? I know some, little bit. Talking about me. Did you crack daddy's paper? And I'm the only one home. So of course I'm the one who cracked the paper. Oh my goodness. So why am I telling you that? Because this morning I've been thinking about the value of personal space. The value of personal space. Everyone deserves their space. Everyone deserves their privacy. Everyone deserves some peace in their life. You know, I'm sure my father loved us to the moon and back and would die for us. Never doubted him for a moment. My father was the kind, if he had to mop a floor, he would do it with dignity because he's taking care of his family. He was a very family oriented man, a church going man, a tither, beautiful singing voice, all the things. Until you crack daddy's paper, use his razor, or eat anything, eat his Mr. Goodbar, be it a pinch, a crack, a chunk, a hunk, or whatever. Don't touch daddy's Mr. Goodbar, for God's sake, for your sake, in fact. But it's how I remember his charm and the lesson of giving people their space and not disturbing their peace. I think at my age now, my peace is so important to me that I'm willing to leave behind the best of circumstances if it does not include peace. Peace, peace, peace. I have to have peace. Henry O'Manley, I didn't call your name. I meant to. Good morning. I'm sorry. So, good morning to everyone. Welcome to Midlife Priceless. And now that I've welcomed you, I'm going to love you and leave you. This wasn't meant to be a long time, it was meant to be a good time. And that's really it. Give someone their space today. Don't disturb their peace, please. Mm. Oh, this mug, I got it from the Silver Diner. It burnt down. It's in Richmond, Virginia, my hometown. I can't believe, you have to excuse the coffee creeping down the side. I spilled it when I was pouring it. But Silver Diner had the best diner food in the city. And I used to drive over and go get some breakfast, like what I would like to have this morning. I'll cook some sausage, eggs, and toast for myself. If I have the gumption, I'll make some grits, coffee, water, and a small glass of juice, as God intended. Well, I'm going to get off this porch and go out and seize the day. Carpe diem. It should be a good one. I've been thinking about going over to the golf course to ride that golf cart. I found a partner in crime. I'll do an interview with him about the area where the golf course is located, the history of the area. That should be interesting. Just thinking this morning. So I guess that's it. Thanks for joining me, however briefly. Put it on the replay if you're just joining in. This is Morning Mocha, Miss Margaret signing off. And this is going into the Morning Mocha playlist where I post thoughts of the day. How I wake up and how I go to bed is the essence of me. What happens during the middle of the day has to do with everyone else, but this has to do with me and the things I think about. Hopefully you got something out of it. Bye for now.